Greetings, 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 everyone. Welcome to Melanated Sisters Sacred Soul Talk. Sister Aj, welcome, welcome.
Greetings, greetings. How's
Uh,
everyone?
yes. How's everyone doing this Tuesday evening? Um, we're so glad that you're joining us. So this week, our topic will be on stress and emotional healing. But
Mm-hmm.
we are also, in terms of stress and emotional healing, there's a lot of different ways that we can go with this. Um, but I think that what we would like to do is touch upon stress, the connection to emotional healing and the dis-ease.
Mm-hmm.
Because, right, Sister AJ, I
Yes,
think
absolutely.
that as sisters, as melanated sisters, we may not often think about how um, our moods, our thoughts
Mm-hmm.
are contributing, number one, to our stress, and number two, to our dis-ease. And I say that, so I can divide the parts of the words on purpose,
That's
because
right.
we
Got to
we
break it down.
understand disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sickness, but we don't. Right within that word, we're kind of being told it's a dis-ease. Sister
Mm-hmm.
RJ, what do you think about that? Greetings, greetings,
Greetings, Sister
greetings,
Sabrina. Greetings.
greetings, Sister Sabrina.
Actually, Spirit had brought that to me years and years ago, and which is why I questioned the whole English language at this particular time. But really, it's made to be feared when it's said as a whole, like disease. It's like, ooh. But when you break it down and it's just dis-ease, it
Mm-hmm.
lightens it a little bit because a lot of things can be out of ease.
That's right.
A lot of things
Yeah.
can be out of ease. And so all dis-ease is an imbalance in a system, whether
Mm-hmm.
it be your nervous system, your digestive system, your respiratory system, your mental, your brain, your circulatory system, your immune system. It means that something has come out of ease, out of balance. And so
That's right.
now I equate dis-ease to imbalance. That's it. And
Imbalance.
we
Yeah.
have the power to balance, to rebalance. Absolutely. We
Yeah.
have the power to rebalance. And so that's all. When you think about it, it just makes it a lot easier to think about it from that paradigm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when
Mm-hmm.
I shift that, whenever I go and they say, oh, this is that, I'm like, okay, it just means something's out of balance. And
Mm-hmm.
it's my job to hold myself accountable, responsible, bringing it back in balance. That's it.
Right. Something's
And
out
I
of
know I
balance.
have the power to do that. I know I have the
Mm-hmm.
power to do that.
Something's out of balance and something needs our attention. And
It's a
that
mess.
something has probably, if it's gotten to the point, excuse me for a moment, if it's gotten to the point where it's showing up as something in its physical form, the disease
Mm-hmm.
that we have been conditioned to think about, oh, this sickness, oh, this, the names that they give to it. But prior to it manifesting in the way that it has, there was a dis-ease
Mm-hmm.
in the emotions and the thoughts a long time ago that was overlooked,
Right, right, right. At
right?
some point in
At
time.
some point, that was overlooked. And
Right.
that dis-ease, when
Mm-hmm.
we think about the emotions, that could have been caused from chronic self-criticism, chronic sadness,
Right, right.
um, some type
Worry,
of, right,
fear,
fear. Yep.
um, you know, any kind of imbalance that would disrupt your systems, would
Mm-hmm.
keep your systems from working at their optimal level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what the dis-ease is giving you a message of, that something is no longer working at its optimal level. Just like you look at the dashboard in your car, the engine light comes on, the radiator light comes on, the gas
Right.
light comes on. That's a message to tell you within that mechanical system there's something that's going wrong, and it brings it to your attention. You say, oh,
Mhm.
I need a tune up, I need to go get a check, I need to, it's saying my tires is running low, it's saying, my coolant is running low, it's saying, my oil is low. Whatever it is, that's what disease signifies. It allows you
Mhm.
to know what possibly may be not in alignment.
Right.
It's come
Yeah.
out of balance, and it's just your job and your duty to bring it back in balance,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
our body is the best machine ever. Everything is a replica of how our systems is set up, your engine system, everything. And sometimes we're more worried about our car than we are about our bodies.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because again,
We'll have gas in the car, but we ain't drunk no water
right.
on the
Right.
same
Right.
day. So that's out of balance. That's out
Right.
of balance.
Because we are aware that if there isn't an adequate amount of gas, or if there isn't enough water in the car or enough oil, it won't function properly. We're aware of that. But
Very
we may
good.
not be as aware of what we need to do to function properly. So I love this topic because I think that sisters can relate to stress. We know, when we say stress, people knows people know what that means for them. You
Yeah,
know,
it has become a household name at
it's
this
a
point,
yeah,
which
it's
it
a house,
shouldn't be,
right?
but it
They
has.
and
Yes.
they know how stress makes them feel and how they react to it.
Mm-hmm.
But what we may not look at is the core emotion that triggers the stress. Right? And
Right.
you mentioned some of them. Fear. Okay.
Yes. Fear is a
Fear,
big.
fear, fear is a big one. Okay. And it made me think about Sister Ajay that um so now when you have an emotion that you may, or you have a trigger that sets off an emotion that you may or may not be aware of, because you
Mm-hmm.
might only be aware of the stress, not the core
Right.
emotion that set the stress off,
That's
right?
right. The root of
and
the
then
problem. Mm-hmm.
and then you take an action. Okay, so the action that you might take to try to manage the stress
Mm-hmm.
may be something that now you are working with, trying to um, calm that emotion. Okay, but the choices that we make to do that, and the choices that might be advertised to us in the mass media, leads to more stress and can lead us to a place of dis-ease
Or more
and the
imbalance.
disease, which is
Mm-hmm.
more
Balance.
imbalance. And then
Mm-hmm.
we may end up with the physical state. I'm thinking about coffee, and this is not what I'm about to say is not to say that people shouldn't drink coffee. That's not what I'm about to say, but spirit is kind of pressing upon me to give the coffee as the example of the
Yeah.
trigger, there's some trigger, right? Whether that trigger is, oh, I feel tired now. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
2, 3 o'clock in the day. And, for those of us that are working during the day, I know when I was in corporate America, for whatever reason, around 2 or 3 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
everybody felt a crash. Now, what are they going to go do to try to finish the rest of the day? You're
Yep.
going to go get some coffee. As a matter of fact, some of the jobs that I had, they made it so convenient for you. We didn't have to go downstairs to look for a Starbucks or anything, because all the coffee you wanted, all of that was there. All of the sugar, all of the sweet and low, all of the creamer was there. You just have to go get it. Okay, so you had a trigger, whether that was I feel really, really tired, and how am I going to get through the rest of the day? You go get, so that's an emotion now. You have an emotion. You go get some coffee. Woo! Now you woke yourself up, but too much of that, that's my point. Too much of that is the dis-ease. If you are doing that 3 or 4 times a day, there is going to be a dis-ease that will lead to a disease, as opposed to having the same trigger. Oh, I feel really, really tired. And maybe instead, um, getting a smoothie, which you will be able to, making the choice to choose something healthier, which will rebalance you, right? Give you energy to continue, or to maybe go outside and go for a walk, or to stretch, or to move, or to breathe, because those things are not necessarily associated with practices that carry us through the day. They're not associated with practices that's within the system. So we kind of experience, oh, I feel really, really tired. And if you're at work, you don't have a space or a place to say the natural thing, which is, I need to take a nap for about 15 minutes or half an hour. The structures are not created to do that. So we have to do something unnatural that creates a disease. The taking the nap, even if you're just lounging back in a chair and with the eyes closed and breathing, that you're not a full nap, it answers the body's call in terms of being tired by giving the body rest. So I give this example because so many of us, it's not just coffee, it could be energy drinks, it could be sugary things, it could be sodas, it could be candy, it could be anything that quickly gets you, gets you going. That over time, that practice creates a dis-ease. Yeah. So sometimes it's just being aware. And what I just shared, Sister Ajay, I didn't want sisters to feel that I was speaking against, coffee. I wanted to illustrate how the systems, the structure that we find ourselves in, does not allow to easily address the natural remedy that would put us back into a balance, which is in terms of, if you are tired, rest. Greetings, Sister Barbara. Greetings. Thank you. Thank you. And greetings, Sister Banka. I saw your message earlier. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. And greetings, Sister Jamila. Greetings. Yeah, Sister Ajay. So what are your thoughts about that? How we find ourselves in these structures that promote the disease. Okay. Okay, Sister Ajay.
I'm sorry, I was on
Okay.
mute.
Okay, go ahead. Go
What
ahead.
I was saying is, I think that's a question for all of us to answer, but I can give you my answer of what has brought those different emotions in for me would be going above and beyond for people,
Mm-hmm.
um, not valuing my time or not valuing my boundaries, not assessing my boundaries, being a yes person, has
Mhm.
gotten me into those different emotional imbalances. Just saying yes, always being there for everyone all the time without assessing, or surrendering to my own needs. Those would be the primary things for me. And I think each woman has to go in and acknowledge what is she doing to create emotional imbalances, because
Mhm.
the fact of the matter, when we talk as melanated women, which we all can kind of resonate with each other, is that we all have been accustomed to doing too much, not so
Mhm.
much for ourselves, but for other people. And I was just talking to my client about this, is that we were taught that doing for ourselves is selfish.
Right.
And so, because I remember my grandmother and my mother always talking about, no, you don't do that for you. You give them first. You share, you this, you that. That's selfish. That's selfish. It was always innate in me to always think to give out first before I give in.
Right.
That's just something
Mhm.
that I've done. And it came into my womanhood, my young womanhood, and of course my adult womanhood over time. And then it had to come to a point where I just had to put myself first. What am I giving me?
Right.
I know what I'm giving other people. I know how much I give other people. I go above and beyond. It matters to me. I've always been a caring, helpful person, but I also have to show that care and that help to myself first.
Mhm.
I have to give
Mhm.
that to me first before I can give it. I have to give it to me. And that is not selfish. That is
Mhm.
not selfish. It just has to be balanced. I think selfishness is a characteristic for some people when they're just takers and they never
Yeah.
give. But I don't feel like it's selfish when you give yourself first. Make sure you're well, make sure you're comfortable, make sure your needs are met, and then you can give to other people. I don't feel that
Absolutely.
that's selfish. So I can only speak from, my perspective of what I've done and what I had to reprogram myself. I had to deprogram and find out and sit with myself. And meditation has allowed me to do that, to sit with myself of the things that was bringing emotional imbalances into my life.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then why, you always have to know your why.
Mhm.
Why have you continued to do this? Why? And then once you acknowledge the why, then you can change it, because now
Mhm.
I know why.
Absolutely.
I know what and I know why. And I know that this doesn't make me feel good any longer. This is not something I want to participate in anymore. This doesn't feed me anymore. This is subtracting from me. This is reducing me. This is stressing me. This is making me feel in a way that I don't want to feel. So it's
Mhm.
only up to me to change that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Sister
And
Audrey.
that's how
Well,
you begin to create boundaries.
while you were sharing, I was thinking about something that I heard this brother Infadici in New York, and he was giving a message some years ago, and what stuck with me, he was talking about ancient Kemet, and he was talking about, I believe, Ma'at, the principles of Ma'at, and this
Mhm.
stuck with me. He said, if you start to self reflect on the following question: if is this action or this thought or even this emotion that I'm experiencing, is it life giving or is it life threatening?
Mhm.
And that stuck with me because I love things that bring us back to the moment and shows us where our control is.
Mhm.
Because if you ask yourself whether this feeling that I'm feeling, if I'm feeling nervous, if I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling angry, is it life giving? The answer, I I would think, would be no. It's not life
Mhm.
giving. So then what could then the next question is, what could I do in this moment that is life-giving? And this is why we wanted to bring meditation into this medium, into this discussion, into what we do here,
Mhm.
because meditation can be that choice to do something life giving.
Mhm.
And it actually can now begin to help your own inner self, your own inner wisdom emerge to your own awareness of what you can do that's life giving.
Mhm.
I've never experienced, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I've never experienced meditating and having a nightmare thought, which I would consider life threatening, meaning I've never gone into a meditation and come out of a meditation and had a thought like what I would have with a nightmare. A night, that kind of energy, if you're scared, that
Mhm.
is not life giving. That takes away life because the nervous systems. But I have found anytime I come out of meditation, there is that period, really, that little in between time before you actually open your eyes. And when you first open your eyes, it's kind of almost like being born, rebirthing. But really, what it is a resetting. You reset yourself from whatever it was that had you stressed out, that had you fearful. So now you close the eyes, you block out what you see with your eyes and
Mhm.
change the vision to what you see with this eye, which is going to lead you
Yeah.
to be able to be more self-reflective, but also be open to receiving wisdom. And
Yeah.
in that breathing, as you continue to focus on your breath, in that breathing, things might come up for you to show you what needs to be worked on, which is life giving.
Mhm.
So, this is also why meditating and journaling go so well,
Together.
because if you have paper or a journal next to you after you meditate, that's another extension of the meditation. Don't After you meditate, refrain from going back to the phone. Write, write what comes up, because what you write, what you might realize when you keep a record of it, if you go back to that later in the day and read it, or another day, it would be like, whoa, I wrote that, because the stream that comes, the messages that can come to you right after you open your eyes from meditation very often is the wisdom or the
Yeah.
clues or the keys that or the truth that you might be seeking from outside of yourself. Now
Your
you've tapped
answers.
into your inner wisdom, right? Right, Sister RJ?
Yeah, your
Mm-hmm.
answers come. Your intuitive
Mm-hmm.
answers, they
Mm-hmm.
come. And meditation, to the way that I've reprogrammed my mind to think about meditation is medicine for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
medicine for me. Because people might take an aspirin, people might take a dose of this or a dose of that to relax. Somebody might drink a glass of wine or do what they do. But for me, I've changed my psyche to look at meditation as medicine.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go-to medicine when I just want to just shut everything down, like you said, close my eyes, not see what I'm seeing, not feel what
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually feeling, which
Mm-hmm.
external things have brought that feeling in, but use my power to shift that
Mhm. Mhm.
and feel what I want to feel. Not what I'm feeling, but what I want to feel: happiness, bliss,
Mhm.
joy, harmony. We can shift that. We can
Yes.
shift that paradigm. We're that powerful.
Mhm.
But we got to get into the state of stillness to do it.
That's right. Yeah.
You can get in a
Mhm.
state of stillness to do it. And you can, choose what state of stillness you want to be, whether it's sitting upright on the floor and ground. You could be sitting in a nice, relaxing chair with your head back. You could be laying on the bed. It's all different ways that people meditate. It's no wrong or right way, but you have to create your process. You have to create your practice that
Mhm.
works for
Mhm.
you. Sometimes when I'm up and I can't really get to sleep, I use meditation to get me into sleeping
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
and just lay down, which I hardly ever do. Lay flat on my back, do something that I hardly ever do. Just lay flat on my back. I might put some Hertz music on and I just allow myself to drift,
Mhm.
just to turn my mind off for a minute because my mind stays on constantly.
Mhm.
So I have
Mhm.
to work on that because I'm a person who overanalyze. I overthink. My mind is going a mile a minute, and I have to make sure I regulate that and manage that because
Mhm.
that is a program that I'm running. And so meditation allows me to stop that program and recalibrate or reset myself into another program, a program of peace, a program of joy, a program of love, whatever it is that I'm aspiring to feel. I like to take myself there. If it ain't
Mhm.
what the world can give me, if it ain't what is my reality at that moment, then let me use my divine feminine powers to give it to myself.
I am so glad that that you are, bringing this up. So I want to ask you, for those who might not be familiar, who are watching us. Hold on, Jamila. One minute. I usually fall asleep. Is that okay, Jamila? That is absolutely okay if you fall asleep. That is wonderful if you fall asleep. That
Yeah.
means that that's what your body needed, and the meditation helped you to get there. So that's okay. That is absolutely okay. Don't worry about that. Hmm. Sister Ajay, I like that you mentioned, because now you're talking about some techniques here. So I want you to elaborate a little bit more. You mentioned Hertz music. Can you talk a little bit more about, for those who are watching who may not know what that is and how that helps in meditation with emotional healing? Jamelia
Well,
snoring it all. That's good though. That means that you're really relaxed, Jamelia. Don't worry about it.
Well, the Hertz music is the universal vibration and the universal frequency on what our cells and our soul actually relate to. This is just coming from my spiritual consciousness and my spiritual awareness. It speaks my language. It soothes and communicates with my soul.
Mm-hmm.
It's sound therapy in another language.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's it's the tunes of the universe. It's the music
Mm-hmm.
of the universe. That's how I look at it. And so it takes me somewhere else, somewhere in peace, somewhere in relaxation, somewhere in bliss, somewhere in comfort. It, it, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's sacred geometry to the soul.
Absolutely.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that you can really verbalize. It's something that you must feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feeling. And so different chakras vibrate with a different frequency. So I pull the Hertz music in of what chakra I want to balance or what chakra that I feel is over or understimulated. That's how I seek my meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so Once you feel it, you understand what chaos and chatter can do.
Mhm.
You understand what cursing can do. You understand what a negative vibe can do, a negative feeling can do, and how powerful it can be.
Absolutely.
To obstruct your personal peace. And so when we listen to Hertz, it recalibrates our cells. It restores us. It rejuvenates us. It
Mhm.
sings to our soul. That's why Janae Aiko, she made a Hertz album for babies. I don't know if anyone knows, when she had her latest child, Noah, I believe his name is, she made a CD or album called Lullaby Baby,
Mhm.
and it's all Hertz music. And Sister Vanka, I know she's on the call. I remember me and her had went to one of her clients' house, and the dogs was very just vicious. They were barking and they were doing all kind of stuff, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know how these people could live in this house with
Mhm.
all of that. And then I came back maybe about 2 months later to do some detox, and Sister Vanka had started playing Hertz music for the dogs, and they were on a much calmer frequency. They were like different animals.
Mhm.
They
Mm.
weren't barking when I came, when I left. They was just very calm. And that's when I
Mm.
knew the power of Hertz. I
Mhm.
know if a dog, a Rottweiler, these dogs
Absolutely.
that's vicious, if they can calm down, it just has a power to it, a
Yeah.
power that speaks to the soul. Like I said, it's,
Mhm.
it's a love language that soothes the soul. Hertz music. And
Mhm.
we've been on other vibrational levels of music, definitely in this day and time. I feel like it's a very toxic
Absolutely. Yeah.
frequency that they're feeding our youth a lot of times to make us react or act in a certain way, a violent way, a negative way. But when you
Mhm.
put old school music on, the Commodores, the Isley
Yeah.
Brothers,
It's a
the,
very, it's
the
more calmer.
Bloodstones,
Mhm.
Luther Vandross, or different things like that, it's like it's calm. It takes away, it just fuels out the sadness and the depression or the anger, or it just goes away. It's a
Mhm.
spiritual thing.
Mm. It's a
And
spiritual thing.
so
Mhm.
I love it. Some nights when I can't get to bed, I put on my Hertz music, and I
Mhm.
don't even
Mhm.
remember going to sleep.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
how much of a peaceful sleep I go into, because I don't even remember when I went to sleep.
Yes, I wanted you to speak a little bit more about that. So thank you. And for those who don't know, you can find the Hertz music on YouTube. You can find it on Spotify. I'm sure
Hmm.
you can find it on Pandora or iTunes, wherever you stream from. And Sister Ajay, what is the frequency that people should start with if they've never tried listening to Hertz music?
Well, we'll be talking about this when we go in our chakra and crystal series, but there are different hertz for different to
Hmm.
attune different organs in the body, definitely different systems. And so you can do 428, you can do 528. Sister Sabrina has a book, she's on the call. She deals a lot with 396.
Hmm.
Um, I've never listened to that particular one,
Hmm.
but I see that in her book. I want to work with that. But
Hmm.
I always talk about signature frequencies, because all of
Mhm.
us have a signature frequency that only our cells relate to. It resets the nervous system, it resets our cells. And I do those at the sweet spot because I want people to know you can listen to many hertz. It's 888. It's a lot of different ones out there.
Mhm.
But if
Mhm.
you listen to your signature frequency, that is the vibration that speaks to your cellular system. It
Mhm.
resets your cells. It allows them to rejuvenate and replenish and restore, because your cells should do that on their own every 90
Mhm.
days. But because of the amount of stress, as definitely as divine feminine that we're under, because of the emotional imbalances, a lot of times our nervous system is shot,
Mm-hmm.
which also affects
Definitely.
our cellular system, which affects every other system in our body, but definitely our nervous system. And so we have to make sure our nerves and our cells are rebalanced and reset and restored every day, because that's when we start getting bitchy, we start getting
Yep.
attitudinal, we start getting irritated, we start getting snappy, we get short, we get restless, we get deterred, we get depressed. That is when your nervous system needs a reset. And we need to know, as the divine feminine, the power that we have within to go in and do the work that we need to do,
Yeah.
because otherwise our health and wellness will be affected. So
Absolutely.
we have to know these things. And it's not just us. If you go to the Gaia channel, if you go to YouTube, other people are tapped in.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
not
I've
listening
noticed
to
that.
Lil Baby and Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj, and they're not listening to that.
Right. Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
listening to that. They're listening to Hertz frequency, because they understand that it restores the mind, the body, and the soul.
Hmm.
And if anybody needs to be restored, would be
We
melanin.
do. Yes, we definitely do. So yeah, I'm glad that we're sharing this with everyone because I gave the example about when you're on a job and you need to reset yourself, but you don't have that private personal space. So many of us can wear headphones. You can go to YouTube or wherever it is that you stream from, bring up Hertz music. You can play it quietly at your desk. Just reading Sister Sabrina's. Oops, it went off before I could catch it. I can catch it someplace else. For that, oh, okay, okay. She's been tuning in. Okay, thank you, Sister Niall. Oh, okay, good, good, good. So before I bring us into meditation and close out for this evening, um, I guess I wanted us to speak to Sister Aj. Sisters that might say, but I can't do anything until I get home. My job is stressful. So what you can do is you can tune into the Hertz music in your headphones, and you
Mhm.
can also excuse yourself. You can still go to the restroom. You can still go. Most places will let you leave to go get that cup of coffee. You know, you can say, I'm getting up to go, blah, 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 and go find a little space to just breathe and listen to your Hertz music, even just for 5 minutes. Now
Mhm.
you're doing the reset in real time. You're not saying I'm gonna wait till I get home, I'm gonna wait till the weekend, because it becomes part of what you do. The other thing that you can also listen to, which is helpful, is the sound bowls. The
Mhm.
sound bowls, if you find that you are during the day that something's triggering you, you're feeling, use the technology that we use to be on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram. Use it to also help to reset you. Use it for your healing, okay, on the spot. So I just wanted to give those tips to those that are listening, that you can begin to address your emotional needs when they come up, even if you're at work, even if you're around a bunch of people at a function, wherever you are, you still have the ability to get up, excuse yourself, use your headphones, tune in. So, having said that, I want everyone to close their eyes
Yes.
and to tune in now so that we can begin our meditation journey for this evening. And with your eyes closed now, allow yourself to begin to pay attention to your breathing. I just want you to pay attention to how it feels to inhale through your nose, how it feels to slowly exhale through your mouth. And to repeat that awareness of breathing again and again as you listen to this guided meditation. Continue to keep your awareness on your breath. Your breath is your anchor point to your inner self, to your inner wisdom, to all that you are. Your breath is your connection to life itself. Because as you know, if you're not breathing, you're not alive. So with that knowledge, let's all take a deep inhale and slowly exhale. Let's take another deep inhale and slowly exhale. Let's take another deep inhale. Hold and slowly exhale. Allow yourself to return to paying attention to your normal pattern of breathing. Allow yourself to let the next 3 exhales relax you a little bit deeper each time. You're just paying attention now. You're paying attention to your inhales and exhales. Maybe you notice a place in your body that has a little bit more tension than the other places. You can allow yourself to breathe into those places now, taking your inhale and allowing the exhale to flow through the area or areas in your body that need to relax. And continue to focus on each inhale and exhale. And now ask yourself, what emotion do I need to release out of my being during this meditation? What emotion have I been feeling or have I been carrying that is not life-giving? Allow your mind to let you know what that emotion is. Remember, you're just observing. You're not judging. You're not criticizing. Just allow your mind to show you the emotion and the thought behind the emotion. What needs to be released? Continue to follow each inhale and exhale. Now I want you to imagine that each exhale is you releasing this emotion that you have identified for it to be transmuted and made lighter with the air, to just float away into the sky, into space beyond what you can see or feel or experience. Imagine that each exhale is carrying that emotion with the thought behind the emotion to space where it's transmuted into starlight. Where it's transmuted into starlight that can be re-entered in your being by each inhale. So now allow yourself to imagine that each exhale is the release of the emotion and its accompanying thought. And each inhale is you inhaling the transmuted emotion, transmuted into starlight, into unlimited brilliance, into unlimited brightness, which is you. Become aware that you and the starlight is one and the same. And allow that emotion and the thought behind the emotion to become starlight that becomes a life-giving. Continue to focus on each inhale and exhale. Imagining now that you're inhaling and exhaling starlight. Imagining that you're just allowing that light, that starlight, to move to each and every cell in your body and out into the world to be inhaled again. Allow that brightness to become you in this now moment. Allow the awareness of this starlight who is you in this now moment to become aware in your inner being. Continue to focus on each inhale and exhale, allowing the starlight to shine bright within you. Transmuting your emotion and your thought into a life-giving experience, into a life-giving awareness. into a life giving journey. And remember, you have this ability to shift and transmute any stressful or negative emotion by following your breath, by allowing the breath to carry the emotion and the thought out of you and surrendering it to nature. Continue to allow the starlight to shine so bright within you. And let's all take a deep inhale and exhale. Take another deep inhale and exhale. Let's take another deep inhale and exhale. Bringing your awareness to the soles of your feet. Taking a deep inhale and exhale. Feeling the earth beneath you, grounding yourself to the earth's energy. Feel how the earth is supporting you. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale, bringing awareness to your hands, moving your fingers, rubbing your hands together quickly, and placing your hands over your heart, bringing your attention to your heart center, taking a deep inhale and exhale, wrapping your arms around yourself, giving yourself a hug, taking a deep inhale and exhale, and placing your hands together in front of your chest in prayer position, taking a deep inhale and exhale, and placing your thumbs on your forehead with your hands together, bringing awareness to your head. Let's take an inhale and exhale, slowly lowering your hands and slowly opening your eyes. Welcome back. If you have a pen and paper, you may jot down what's coming up for you. If you have anything you'd like to share, you can share in the chat box. We do have a few minutes before we close out. Welcome back, Sister Ajay.
Give thanks.
Hmm. Hmm. Sometimes it's just good to take a moment.
Because sometimes you realize that you haven't taken a moment all day.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that you haven't taken a moment all day. And after you complete your meditation, after you come back, it's good to take a moment. You're welcome, Jamila. Oh, yeah. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Thank you, Sister Sabrina. Oh, you're very, very welcome, sisters. Yes. So, wow, I have to come back. So, we hope that um, as we start this series this month, we hope that what you have taken away is that you don't have to wait or put off um, resetting or rebalancing yourself. You can find ways to assist yourself in the moment if you begin to acknowledge what's coming up and not push it away and say that you're too busy, but use some of what we shared here today to begin to address the need for you to reset and rebalance yourself in the moment. Meditation can look like a lot of different things. And sometimes, if all you can do is take 10 breaths, you'll be surprised at how that is a mini meditation. And you can do that because you're always breathing. So even if you can't put on the Hertz music, even if you can't get up and walk around, right where you are, you can begin to breathe deeply. And that is a form of meditation because it is all about the breath and being aware of the breath. So, Sister Ajay, what would you like to share as we prepare to close this wonderful um, a call?
Well, I can't leave the call without encouraging our ladies to do some moon work tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe doing a moon meditation. It is a full moon in Virgo. The sun is in Pisces, but the moon is in Virgo. These are the times that we need to utilize to reconnect with our power because we have a cycle and we're talking about, emotional imbalances. Use this time to calm your inner being and your inner peace, to reset and to replenish yourself because this is a very, very powerful time. It's a lunar eclipse. They said the moon is supposed to turn red for, I think, 82 minutes. I'm going to try to see if I can see it tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But as divine feminine, we can never forget the mother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We can never forget the mother. The moon is the mama. That's why we have cycles. It's because we as divine feminine should be following the cycles of the moon. And so we have to make sure we acknowledge the moon. Even if you don't know how to do moon work, just go out and sit in the moon. Intuitively, your womb will speak to you to allow you to know exactly what she needs to be in tune and connected.
Mm-hmm.
Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. It's not that we don't know, it's that we must remember.
Absolutely.
We must
Woo.
remember who we are, who created us, the power that is within us all. That is what I say about reconnecting to your divine feminine powers. We all have them. And once we make a practice of it, which meditation can definitely be utilized in a full moon meditation, in full moon work, but just start acknowledging the phases of the moon. The full
Mm-hmm.
moon is the most powerful phase of the moon. I love the full moon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll start learning ourselves from a cosmic perspective too. Because
Absolutely.
during the full moon, a lot of people talk about things going crazy during the full moon. I don't feed into that. I know for me, I feel the full moon. I feel a difference in my being during the full moon, and we have to acknowledge her. And so I've been looking up while I walk my dog at night, and I've been looking up at the moon, just talking to the moon
Mm-hmm.
as a form of a meditative practice, just speaking out loud to the moon, because our throat chakra is very powerful. Our words are very powerful, and
Mm-hmm.
allowing the moon to know that I acknowledge her as the guide and the navigator and the government of me as a divine feminine, and to show me the way to
Absolutely.
how to move through these days and these times. And so I would be amiss if I don't, give knowledge to the moon. It's full moon time, and it's us as divine feminine. We must spend time with the moon. And
Mm-hmm.
so, if that is not something that you know about, just start doing some research.
Absolutely.
Just start doing some researching about it. But because we're having this meditation soul talk on March 3rd, with the full moon in Virgo, the blood moon, the worm moon,
Mm-hmm.
the natives called it, more of the worm moon, because the earthworms start coming up out of the soil. The soil begins to thaw because spring is here.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
is our new year. This is our new year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
January is not our new year. This is our new year. And so, as we invite ourselves into the better version of who we are and who we know we can be and who we are aspiring to be, let's rise, let's heal, let's evolve, let's elevate. And that's why we created this platform, so we can come together as one again, supporting and uplifting each
Mm-hmm.
other in the practice of meditation, in the art of wellness of meditation, but utilizing it as our medicine wheel to be able
Ashe.
to get back in sync with divine order. And so
Ashe.
that's what I want to leave with. Make sure you're doing some journaling about your feelings, about your emotions. What emotions are limiting you? What emotions are you ready to release and let go of? How do you want to incorporate new things into your new beginnings, which is the new moon? But what is it that you actually want to change about your
Mm-hmm.
life?
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to begin to activate it in order to manifest it.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Sister Ajay. So, thank you everyone for joining us on this call. I hope you go out and, at the very minimum, if you can't go outside, look at the moon from your window. Let it shine on you. But begin to pay attention. If you want to contact Sister Ajay or myself, you can do so. There will be a QR code that will come up after we come off the stage, so to speak. You can contact either one of us if you want more information about what we do, if you want to uh, partake in our services, Sister Ajay at the Sweet Spot. If you want a reading, I do oracle readings. Just reach out to us. We're here
To
to serve
support.
you. Yes, yes.
Serve
We
and
all
to
said
support.
it at the same time. So we see we have that synchronicity. And with that, I'm going to say, um, have a good night. Peace and blessings to everyone. Peace and blessings.
Okay.
Sister
Peace and
Audrey.
blessings. Love and light.
Okay. Good.
To conversate, to put a smile upon thy face. It's not too late to recognize we're all one people, we're all one mind. violence and all the separation. Spread love and peace all across the nation. Cause we got to live together, yeah. And we won't survive if we don't help each other. We don't need no more hate through generations. We need to practice more unification. So why can't we make it right for life so we can all survive? And if we could all just learn to love one another, no one else would suffer. We're all in it together. No matter who's against us, no matter who's for us, our voices would be louder. No one could ignore us. The world would be different, and more would be gifted. Not where they drifted. There's so many missed it. With so many stuck in their ways, living out their days with really no peace. We can make it so much better now than the world that we see. It's not too late to conversate, to put a smile upon thy face.